Hi friends, hey, welcome to another Sunnyside Design video. We are in Steph's garage today and she is going to share how her freezer has remained organized for an entire year. And I don't know why we always do these things in the winter.
I know.
We organize
We're bundled
it in the
up,
winter.
it's cold.
It's cold. But she's going to share how it has stayed organized and her tricks for keeping it that way.
Yeah, I will say too, we wrote this post a year ago and we did not film it at the time because we didn't think to, but we thought, you know what, this has been such a popular post on our site and Pinterest and everywhere else we've shared it that we thought, you know, we need to make a video of it. So let's show you how the freezer has stayed organized, and then I will go over every little step to help you get this way, and it will stay this way. First, let's take a peek at my freezer before. So I knew where things were. I could access them, but you know, it's not as neat and pretty. And sometimes I would find food that was old and I'd have to throw it away, and that bothered me. Doesn't this look so much better than the before? I mean, I knew where stuff was, but it was not very easily accessible. So yes, this is 1 year later and it has stayed orderly. I would say clean, but obviously I have a little bit of a spill to clean up, but not too bad. Not too bad. All right, so after you've had that little sneak peek, you noticed that we have used bins, and that really helps to store food, keep it sorted, just kind of helps it keep tidy. So the very first thing you're going to need to do is take some measurements of your freezer, how wide it is, maybe how much room you have in between each shelf, and then go shop for bins. I know it might sound kind of crazy, but you will need bins first. So these all came from the Dollar Tree. You know, they're not the best quality, but they have held up. It's just pulling them in and out to grab food here and there. So, you know, you don't need to spend a lot of money and buy a lot of bins. You can always return what you don't use. So it'd be better to have more than not enough. Step number 2, take everything out of your freezer. I know that might sound a little bit counterproductive, but trust us, this really will be helpful to getting your freezer organized. So once you're back from the store, you have your bins, come out to your freezer with a wet washcloth, empty your freezer out and give it a quick wipe down. You may be surprised what little messy nuggets are in there. Now that everything is piled onto the floor, we are ready for step number 3, which is to take inventory of all of your food. So, no, you don't need to write it all down or anything, but just visually look at what items you have and start placing them into bins so that you know how much of certain foods that you have. Step number 4 really goes hand in hand with step number 3. It's just placing like food items into the bins. So again, you know, put all your poultry in one bin, all your beef in another, maybe you have frozen yogurts in another. Just sort and organize your food into bins and then start placing them into the freezer. Don't worry too much about where you place them at this point because you can always move them around and get a better feel of how you want it to be organized later. But as long as they're in the bins, you can start placing them back in the freezer, which will also give you a better idea of how you want to have them placed in the freezer. You'll also notice that I started our freezer organization on the bottom. I decided to put all of the meats at the bottom of our freezer just for peace of mind if any raw meat juices were ever to leak and drip. I didn't want it to contaminate any of the other foods. So I have poultry on the bottom, and the next shelf up we have some poultry and seafood, then we have beef and pork. So the first few shelves in our freezer are dedicated to meats, and then moving from there up we have all of the other food items. By working from the bottom up, it also allows you to maximize all of the storage space possible. So what I was able to do is place the first shelf directly above my first row of bins. So this will give you maximum storage space. The bins have room to slide in and out, and then you have the shelf right above it where you can put a new shelf of bins. So in doing this, I was able to actually free up enough space that I have room for 2 more shelves in our freezer. So it's really crazy what having storage bins will do. It just frees up so much more space. Not only does it look nice and tidy, but it gives you that extra space to work with, and it also is a little bit easier when you're like planning your grocery list or your menu. You can just open the freezer door, see what your stock is, know if you need to grab some more. It's really helpful. Okay, step number 5. All these steps are important, but this one may just be the most important to me. So you all know what the most important thing is about buying realty, right? Location, location, location. Same with organizing anything. Most important thing is label, label, label. So we have actually gone to the work for you and created these freezer labels. You can download them on our website, so make sure to click that link below. And we had them printed and then laminated so that they would stay nice and sturdy. And then we have added them to each of the bins. And this is so helpful because how many times are you find yourself cooking in the kitchen, and for me anyway, I would tell my kids, okay, well, why don't you go grab a bag of cheese, or, you know, just a different item, and you'll tell them right where to go, right where to find it, and do they see it? Nope. So with it labeled, there are no excuses. They all can read, and they know where things belong to. So, you know, I'm putting groceries away, I say, hey, go run this out to the freezer. They can help with that as well. So labeling really is key. It will help you stay organized. It will help you keep inventory of your food, which will also help you to avoid waste and throwing old food out. All right, so hopefully these ideas will help you create some order in your freezer. Now we want to share 4 freezer tips that you cannot live without. So the first we've already talked about, which is buying bins. Now you know the importance for storage bins. It not only helps keep things grouped and sorted, but it allows you to stack and save as much space as possible. Our tip number 2 is label everything. Okay, obviously we already talked about that, labeling the bins, but label your food. If you're like me, I like to buy in bulk, and then I will often divvy it up into smaller portions. So date the bag with a Sharpie so that you know when it was purchased, and when you're putting new food into the freezer, make sure to put it in the back of the bin. So you're always rotating that food and you're not gonna have any go to waste. Tip number 4 has been a mind blower for so many of our viewers. They comment on it and they love it. Flatten your food when possible. So you can see here, I have done this with our cheese bins and my ground beef. I like to buy both of these in bulk, and then the beef I'll do in 1 pound packages. The cheese I try to do about 8 ounces, just similar to a size that you would buy at the store, just so you're used to the measurements, ready to cook with it. But not only does it free up so much space, do you see how much food is in these bins? But come to like defrosting dinner, it defrosts so much quicker when it's flat because it's thinner. So this is a favorite tip. So if you haven't tried this one, you must try it. So you may be wondering, how can you keep it organized? How will it stay this way? So we have 3 tips to share with you.
All right, number 1 is take time to put it away correctly to begin with. I know that sometimes we're in a hurry and we just shove things in a container, a closet, a drawer, whatever.
Guilty.
Take the time to put it away. And I have a new motto for myself this year. If it takes less than 2 minutes to put it away correctly, do it right then. If it's gonna take a little more time, then maybe I'll put it somewhere and let me put it away correctly later. But take the time right then
For me, with the freezer anyway, I think just because each food item has its specific spot and it is labeled, if I'm coming to the freezer anyway, it gets put right where it belongs.
Yeah,
so
it's easy
take
to
the
keep
time,
it.
do it right, it will stay clean.
Number 2 is to take time at least once a month to take stock of what's in your freezer, make sure it's organized, and it really only takes maybe 1 or 2 minutes to just take a quick peek, and then you'll know what you have, what you need to purchase, and it will always stay organized and neat for you.
Yep, usually I do this just when I'm planning our weekly menu and making my grocery list. I'll just open the fridge, see what I need to get. Tip number 3, you may notice over time, maybe your family is gravitating to putting something in a specific spot. It's not the right spot. You may need to adjust that and make it the spot. Move your label just so it makes sense for your family. When we did our freezer, I was putting things that we use often like lower so that my kids could reach it if they needed to, and things we don't use very often up higher. So just make it function for your family. If you need to tweak where things are down the road, that's fine. Everything's labeled. Give it a new place.
It's easy to switch too because it's in those bins. You just pull it out and move it to a new spot. So it's easy to do.
So we hope you liked this video and our tips for creating organization and also keeping it that way. Not only will it look lovely. I mean, I spent $15 because there are $15 tree bins, so it did not cost a lot.
But it's saving you so much money.
It is.
In the long run. No wasted food. You're not just throwing away freezer burn food.
Yes.
It's rotating.
Yeah.
So it's so worth it.
So we hope you like these tips and that you'll implement them in your own house, your own storage system. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel if you have not already, and be sure to follow us on social media. All the links are below, and make sure to get your free printables. That link is below. So you have your free labels, go get them. No excuses.
There is no excuses for
you
an
print
organized
them
freezer.
and label, and you'll have order.
So thanks for watching a Sunnyside Design video where we hope to bring your home to the sunny side of the street.